growing up in Macon, I'm a humble person. I like to be around the elderly because there's so much wisdom there. So they used to always say I had an old soul. I was in JROTC and in a leadership position, and I joined the Army. My father served in the military. My father is third generation. I'm fourth generation, and I have a son that's fifth generation. My sister was the first female, and I was the second female to join the Army because our family composed of men going into the Army, not women. I decided to join because I had aunts, uncles that had already served, and I just thought it was a thing for me to do to serve. And I always wanted to be safe. So in turn, I wanted my country to be safe. So I would do anything to defend it. And I kept on up until I couldn't do it anymore. And I know 40 years is a long time, but hey, I had it in me. My highest rank was Sergeant First Class, and I belonged to a training unit, observer controller, where we go out and evaluate units. So I decided, I didn't want to do that anymore. I saw more in me. And there was a couple of warrant officers I used to admire. And I see them and I'm like, you know what, I can do that. With me, I always did that 110%. I wanted to go further. And I saw that's what they did. So, I decided, hey, the enlisted time was over for me, and it's time to be a subject matter expert in my field.
Was there any hesitation about becoming a warrant officer?
Actually, in the beginning it was, and I'm going to tell you a story I went through twice. The first time I went through in 1999, I was diagnosed with class 2 diabetes, and I didn't make it through. And I decided, you know what, I'm going back. I want this. It was in me to go back, and it takes a lot of courage for someone to go back. But I went back and I made it. I am logistics. I'm a property book officer, but my first MOS was supply systems techs. And that, I did warehouse operations in depots, large equipment areas. And I transferred over to property accountability because on the warehouse side, we get it to you, but on the property book side, you have to account for it for the rest of your life unless you have to turn it in or it dies out.
Do you believe that the military as a whole is a savior for the African American culture?
I wouldn't say it's a savior. It's an opportunity to get an education, to earn money, because a lot of jobs out there don't pay what the military pay. You have a lot of good benefits, and there are some promotion potential also. You get to travel different places. I've been to Djibouti, Africa. I've been to Iraq. I've been to Talil. And I've been to Horn of Africa. I've been to Qatar. I've been to Germany. I spent 8 years in Germany, and I speak German. And I've been Puerto Rico assignment twice over there, and I visited Hawaii. I always wanted that assignment, but could never get it.
Now you've caught my attention. Can we get just a little bit of German?
Ich spreche Sie Deutsch, which means I speak German. Ich lebe in Germany, Deutschland für 8 Jahre und 3 Monate. Which means I lived in Germany for 8 years and 3 months.
We often hear that as African Americans, we have to do twice as much to get even a fraction of what our counterparts get. Why do you think that is?
There are those negative thresholds out there that, a lot of times they see African Americans and it's perceived as, we're lazy, sometimes that we don't know, our knowledge is not there. And that's not true. It's bad to judge that way, but we are perceived that way a lot. And it's not fair. But, and you also have to do double sometimes just to meet the level with just a regular counterpart. And, that really, if you look at it in hindsight, it's not fair, but it's true. I'm a victim of sexual assault at my first duty station, which was very hard to get through. Back then, they didn't really have a program like they have now, the SHARP program, and you just have to suck things up. A lot of things were just swept under the rug depending on the individual. I made it through that, and I'm still seeking help from that, but I'm proud of it because it taught me that, I am strong, I am somebody, and it wasn't my fault. I thank God, and I bring God into my career. He brought me through it, and He never left me. There's a poem called Footprints in the Sand, and in the end it says, there where I carried you, and He has carried me all the way.
If you were to rank the factors, Sonia, that you believe set you apart from your peers, What would you say those factors were?
I would say doing more than the requirement, going above and beyond the call. While I was on convalescence leave for 30 days, I created a commander's guide to property accountability. During my convalescent leave, I had so many commanders calling me, asking me, well, I need to know this with the change of command inventory. I need to know that. And I said, you know what? Instead of keep saying this all the time, I need to put guidance out there. And that's what I did. I did a change of command inventory for the commander, and then I turned around and I did one for supply sergeants, because supply sergeant and commanders work hand in hand on inventories.
Is there one assignment in particular that you said, you know, this is the assignment?
That's the assignment where I was assigned to USAK Park at Fort Bragg, where you have one property book officer and you had 28 states and a territory that you are one property book officer for all those. You have team chiefs, supporting me and doing, the basic job, but the accountability, it all relied on me. And that was 162 companies, 7 brigades, 4 civil affairs commands, and it was extremely hard. Those type of assignments like that, they don't do that anymore in the Army, but it remains at USAK Park. And if you take that assignment, you can do anything.
What specific strategies do you believe African Americans need to use to navigate their careers in the Army?
For seeking professional development, go further, get other certifications that are out there. Don't just meet the standards, exceed the standards, because that's the only way you're going to be promoted. Remember, you're competing against everybody, so you got to stand out. Same thing as being a warrant officer. You can't just sit in your office and not be out there mentoring, because someone is looking up to you, and it's your job to make sure you made it through. I had great mentors, and they made sure I made it through, so in turn, I owe that to the people that I mentor. I kept on going because I saw something in each one of them. My leadership style is not in the Army. We have chaplains and we have religious people, but my leadership style is faith, and it's not in the leadership principles. And faith is one that got me through, not integrity or leadership styles. I used those because they were required by the military, but mine was faith to overcome any obstacle. And that's what I did.
How did you excel through the Army promotion system?
I took them assignments nobody wanted, as they call, the gutter assignments. But you know what? In them, I found I needed to be there to mentor those people and show them their ways of getting up, or get assigned to places no one wanted to go to get promoted. It worked for me. Take them hard assignments. I was a CW4, and I went back to a battalion level. And then I can't believe you going back to a battalion level. Yeah, I needed to go back to that battalion level to learn the strategies, because I was a supply systems tech and I went to a property book. And that's the best way to learn. And from then on, I was good to go. There's some struggles in that, but you gotta be strong and you gotta want it.
You mentioned earlier about mentorship. How did that play in your ascension to the highest rank in the Warrant Officer Corps?
When you become a mentor, you help, but you learn as you help, because we had one system that we were in, and then we changed over to a total different system. And those new W1s, they knew that system, and they were able to teach us also. So when you're mentoring, sometimes you're learning also. Make sure this is what you want, because a lot of times as a warrant officer, you're not with a lot of people. You're kind of like a quiet professional, as they say, because it's technical, and you gotta know technical. It's very important that you know your job up, down, and around. Regulations, you gotta know how to walk regulations. It wasn't easy going through these ranks. It took a lot, because now you're between the O grade and the E grade. And those O grades, especially those senior levels, they're gonna come to you. And your word is your bond.